Thank you for listening to Curious Cat, a podcast that examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. I'm your host, Jennifer Holtz. Join me every week as I explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit. Welcome to Curious Cat. Here I am. Those three words have shown up for me in random ways throughout the week, and the number 222, which is my sign for angelic besties, Metatron and Sandalphon. Angelic best friends that represent the great central sun and the earth's crystal grid, so heaven and earth, all of which are clear messages to me to be in my body, be present. We live in a time when it is near impossible to maintain our attention on a single thing for very long. From socials to smartphones to pop-up ads on websites, flashing lights, clickbait headlines, everything is vying for our attention, which I'm learning is a precious commodity. Being grounded in the present moment is what some might call mundane magic, so intuitive as to render it dull. But in staying in the present moment, just try doing that. And if you're anything like me, you'll quickly find that those muscles have atrophied. Here I am has become my mantra to bring me back to the present when I drift. Called mindfulness practice. I've combed the internet, ignore hundreds of blingy, obnoxious pop-up ads to bring you deep thinkers on the subject and some ingenious ways to give us all a head start when it comes to unlocking this superpower. Let's get into it. To start us off, here's a thought experiment. And if it interests you, keep it in mind throughout the episode. What if our aging process reversed for every second we live rooted in the now? Could we keep our mind from wandering to the past or skipping ahead into the future? Would we commit to giving our full attention to the now? Make an earnest go of living in the moment? We're a value-driven culture. Let's be honest about that. And maybe seeing value in our effort to undo what's become a bad and deeply ingrained habit might be the tiny nudge we need to try. Remember that first Kung Fu Panda movie? The sage turtle that said, "The present is a gift." I know it's cheesy, but it is. And many say that standing in the present, firmly grounded in the now, is the key to unlocking life's deepest secrets. Here's what Eckhart Tolle has to say about awareness. Quote, "Awareness is the power that is concealed within the present moment, the ultimate purpose of human existence, which is to say, your purpose is to bring that power into the world." End quote. So staying aware, living in the present might be a sort of superpower. Sign me up. Sign me up. I felt the best way to get into the guts of today's conversation is with the teachings of Buddhist Thich Nhat Hanh and his book and teachings, Be Free Where You Are. I've got the links in the show notes. You need to buy this book. It's a transcript of a talk he gave at the Maryland Correctional Institute, which shows how mindfulness practice can cultivate freedom no matter where you are. Asked how he defines mindfulness, another word for living in the present, he answers, quote, "In Vietnamese, mindfulness is Chan Niem, which means to be truly present in the moment. When you eat, you know that you are eating. When you walk, you know that you are walking. The opposite of mindfulness is forgetfulness. You eat, but you don't know that you're eating because your mind is elsewhere. When you bring your mind back to what is happening in the here and now, that is mindfulness. And mindfulness can bring you a lot of life, a lot of pleasure and joy. This simple act of eating an orange, for instance, can be 1,000 times more pleasant if you eat it mindfully than if you eat it while you're caught up in your worries, anger, or despair. Mindfulness is the energy that helps you be fully present with whatever is there. End quote. Later in the question and answer period, one attendee needed clarification, asking him to define mindfulness again and what it can bring about. Vic answered, quote, "Mindfulness, as I have said, is the capacity of being present in the here and now. Focus your attention on what is going on. If mindfulness is there, concentration will be there too. If you continue to be mindful of something, then you will concentrate on it. It will be the object of your concentration. When your mindfulness and concentration are good, you will be able to receive insights. You will begin to understand in depth what is really happening in the here and now. So the process is mindfulness, concentration, and insight. The insight helps you to understand, and it liberates you from your wrong perceptions. It makes you stop suffering. One final gem from Thick, which relates to our conversation if you practice a religion already. The question from the audience was, I have a Christian background. Is it okay if I practice mindfulness? His answer was, quote, I have studied Christianity and I have found many teachings on mindfulness in Christianity and also in Judaism and Islam. I think that mindfulness has a universal nature. You can find it in every spiritual tradition. If you study deeply the life of a sage from any tradition, you will find a quality of mindfulness in his or her life. A sage is capable of living every moment of their life deeply and touching the beauty and truth in each moment of life. I think it is possible to profit from many traditions at the same time. If you love oranges, you are welcome to eat them, but nothing prevents you from enjoying kiwis or mangoes as well. Why commit yourself to only one kind of fruit when the whole spiritual heritage of humankind is available to you, he asks. It is possible to have Buddhist roots as well as Christian or Jewish roots. We grow very strong that way. End quote. Staying in the moment is tricky, to say the least. Many great minds have contemplated ways to keep a now mindset. I thought, who better to kick off this little seminar of ours than Ram Dass? From www.ramdass.org, he shared the following, quote, cultivating the practice of be here now in each moment. As you study the way in which your mind works in each moment, the way in which a concentrated mind deals with the world, as opposed to a diffuse mind, then you see the way in which this lack of being able to be at the office when you're at the office or at home when you're at home reduces your effectiveness of each item. I noticed that there was a stage where I was always time binding. When I was here with you, I was anticipating the fact that Saturday I'll be at a temple. Sunday I'll be flying to California. Monday I'll be with creating our future, and then I'll be in Europe. I mean, it was all real in the moment, and I constantly had to sequence the where I came from with the where I was going in my mind. So I was always planning and anticipating. He goes on. What's changed now is that much more of the time, I'm a long way from being cooked, but much more of the time when I am here, this is it. I am here. And when I'm not here, I'm not here. It's interesting how when you give another human being, your family or your business, the fullness of your being at any moment, a little is enough. While when you give them half of it because you're time binding with your mind, there's never enough. You begin to hear the secret that being fully in the present moment is the greatest gift you can give to every situation. When I'm waking up, going to the bathroom, and I meet somebody on the path and they say, "Have you got a minute?" I probably have a minute, so I say, "Yeah." I turn to them, and in that moment, and I'm no longer somebody going to the bathroom, I'm somebody listening to their question. I'm just right there. And that takes me less time to deal with that thing fully. I hear them fully, and they hear me hearing them, and we do the communication. I don't hold to, "Yeah, sure," but I'm always thinking about going to the bathroom while I'm listening to the question. It's taken me a while to learn if I'm gonna offer the gift of my being, it means offering the fullness of the moment we are in. The feeling that you're not doing enough at home while you're at work turns into you don't do enough at work and you don't do enough at home. Well, if you've worked fully when you are in either place, then that is standing back enough in that awareness to see that the pieces of your life and see what you are really working on. I look at one of those little planners and I see that I have these things to do, that I've got my relationships, I've got retreats. I see that I have to rest. I see this sort of pattern of my life. Then I can look at all and think, do they create a life, first of all, that is fulfilling my unique opportunities in the universe? Am I understanding each of them as a part of my spiritual path? What do I want to phase out? What do I want to keep? I stand back and I get a feeling of the design of my life. And once I'm at peace with the design of my life, then when I'm at each thing, the other part of me that's already stood back and seen the design of it also at peace. And then I can fully be the thing I'm in. That from Ram Dass, end quote. There are many great minds that have come up with some solid ways to have longer spans of time in the present. Before I share those, including my tip that explains the ballpoint ink on my left hand, consider this. If we aren't present most of the time, where are we? And Ram Dass alluded to this. It's a place I call the time tango, a tap dance of worrying, sorting through what we've done or not done in the past, and gnashing over an anxiety-provoking future. Time tango, past, future, forward, back, forward, back. Thich Nhat Hanh says in his book, Be Free Where You Are, quote, "Many of us think that happiness is not possible in the present moment. Most of us believe that there are a few more conditions that need to be met before we can be happy. This is why we are sucked into the future and are not capable of being present in the here and now. This is why we step over many of the wonders of life. We keep running away into the future. We cannot be in touch with the many wonders of life. We cannot be in the present moment where there is healing, transformation, joy, and I'm adding gratitude. It is not easy to stay present, but Eckhart Tolle says, quote, "Only presence with a capital P can free you of the ego, and you can only be present now, not yesterday or tomorrow." Seems worth the effort, doesn't it? But why is it so difficult? I mean, maybe it's obvious because living everywhere else but the present is a habit. Again, let's turn to Thich for some wisdom that puts this into perspective. He said, quote, "Smile at your habit energy. There is a strong energy in every one of us called habit energy. Vasana is the Sanskrit word for habit energy. Every one of us has habit energies that push us to say and do things we don't want to say or do. These habit energies damage us and our relationships to other people. Intellectually, we know that saying or doing a certain thing will cause a lot of suffering, and yet we still say or do it. And once you say or do something, the damage is done. The words are out there. Then you regret it." End quote. This is me. For the purposes of this episode, the habit energy is ping-ponging between past and future, never landing on the now, the moment at hand. But back to Thich. Quote, "You beat your chest and pull your hair. You say, 'I am not going to say or do that thing again.' But though you say this with sincerity, the next time the situation presents itself, you say and do the same thing. This is the power of habit energy that your parents and ancestors may have transmitted to you. Mindfulness breathing can help you recognize habit energy when it emerges. You don't have to fight that energy. You only have to recognize it as yours and smile at it. That is enough. Hello there, my habit energy. I know you are there, but you cannot do anything to me. You smile at it and then you are free. This is a wonderful protection. It is why I said mindfulness is the energy of God, the energy of the Buddha protecting us. In order for the energy of mindfulness to work for you, it is very important that you practice mindful walking and mindful breathing each day. When the habit energy begins to manifest, continue to breathe, recognize it, and say, "Hello, my habit energy. I know you're there, but I am free. You are not going to push me to say and do those things again." This is how you acquire a different way of reacting. You create a good habit energy to replace the bad habit energy. End quote. Oh, and one more wonderful phrase from Thich, that smiling at habit energy he talked about, he calls that face yoga. Isn't that just a gem? Thich was asked by someone attending his talk, quote, "Can we think of the past and plan for the future?" End quote. To which he responded, quote, "Mindfulness means to establish yourself in the present moment, but that does not mean you don't have the right to scrutinize and learn from the past or plan for the future. If you are really grounded in the present moment and the future becomes the object of your mindfulness, you can look deeply at the future to see what you can do in the present moment for such a future to become possible. We say that the best way of taking care of the future is to take care of the present, because the future is made of the present. Taking care of the present moment is one of the best things you can do in order to ensure a good future. When we bring past events to the present moment and make them the object of our mindfulness, it teaches us a lot. When we were part of those events, we could not see them as clearly as we do now. With the practice of mindfulness, we have new eyes and we can learn many things from the past." End quote. After I was contemplating this, that passage of his book, I actually was thinking about my own health and fitness. And I realized that instead of saying, "I want to lose weight," or I feel bad about what I ate yesterday, so I need to do exercise today, almost like a sort of punishment. It was really a weird, this is how I've always kind of thought about it. I was good. I ate well, and I have all these overlays of it. And I've been slowly aware of them, which is the first step to stripping them away and doing something different. So instead of like shaming myself, I say to myself, I want to be a person in the present that loves hiking and activity outside more than they love eating crappy fast food, for example. And I've been hiking more. It's been feeding me more. It's a more positive thing that I've been doing. And yesterday when I was climbing a mountain and I was wheezing, it was in altitude. The air was thin. It was hot. I was thirsty. My mouth was dry. I stared at my feet and I stared at the rocks, the red dirt underneath my tennis shoes. And I gave gratitude for each step. And I really tried to stay present in each step. And it was crazy because I don't know, I didn't count, but maybe 15, 20 steps vertical up the incline. And all of a sudden I wasn't paying attention to my lungs. I felt like my body had acclimated quicker to the altitude and the exertion. And I was truly enjoying watching my feet landing in this gorgeous dirt and some of these shimmery rocks and then trekking like a little goat up the mountain. And it was kind of a cool, moment of the week of staying present and having it loop into my overall health and wellness. So I think Thick for bringing me his insights so that I could have that moment yesterday. And I hope to have many more on many hikes in the future. Being present may be the key component to having and cultivating deep and meaningful relationships. To that end, Eckhart Tolle writes, quote, "In a genuine relationship, there is an outward flow of open, alert attention toward the other person in which there is no wanting whatsoever. That alert attention is presence. It is the prerequisite for any authentic relationship," end quote. This time tango, it's a special kind of hell that we humans have manifested. Eckhart Tolle offers a story about the duck with a human mind to illustrate how different, and not in a good way, we are compared to the rest of nature. Quote, "In The Power of Now, I mentioned my observation that after two ducks get into a fight, which never lasts long, they will separate and float off in opposite directions. Then each duck will flap its wings vigorously a few times, thus releasing the surplus energy that built up during the fight. After they flap their wings, they float on peacefully as if nothing had ever happened. If the duck had a human mind, it would keep the fight alive by thinking, by story making. This would probably be the duck's story. I don't believe what he just did. He came to within 5 inches of me. He thinks he owns this pond. He has no consideration for my private space. I'll never trust him again. Next time he'll try something else just to annoy me. I'm sure he's plotting something already, but I'm not going to stand for this. I'll teach him a lesson he won't forget." And on the mind spins its tales, still thinking and talking about its days, months, or years later. As far as the body is concerned, the fight is still continuing, and the energy it generates in response to all those thoughts is emotion, which in turn generates more thinking. This becomes the emotional thinking of the ego. You can see how problematic the duck's life would become if it had a human mind. But this is how most humans live all the time. No situation or event is ever really finished. The mind and the mind made me and my story keep it going. We are a species that has lost its way. Everything natural, every flower or tree, and all animals have important lessons to teach us if we would only stop, look, and listen. Our duck's lesson is this: flap your wings, which translates to let go of the story and return to the only place of power, and Jennifer, at peace, the present moment, end quote. Let's take a quick break, and on the flip side, I'll share some valuable insights about living in the present offered by Eckhart Tolle and a great mindfulness breathing exercise that can change the course of your day in 4 inhales. Back in a second.
If you haven't heard yet, the Homewrecker Podcast isn't your typical podcast.
Join us, Alex,
and Monique,
as we discuss a wide range of topics
like spiritual healing, privacy, ghosts, conspiracy theories, health, self-sufficiency, aliens, and pretty much anything else we want.
Ghosts? Conspiracy theories? Who believes in that stuff?
We do.
Allegedly.
Supposedly.
In theory. So listen to us and subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Podbean, Google Play, or anywhere else you enjoy your podcasts.
Help us wreck and shatter conventional wisdom and ways of thinking while having some fun in the process.
Hey, that's my line.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Picture this. It's the first day of middle school. You've forgotten your running shoes, and the gym teacher leads you all, the class, out to the track, stopwatch in hand, demanding you run a mile with the rest of the students. Lap 1, the lungs burn. Lap 2, maybe you cough. Lap 3, you kind of want to puke, but instead you stop and bend over. Lap 4, your throat burns. You get the idea. How about when it comes to staying in the present, we find gentler, kinder ways to get into shape, condition, to build up those atrophied present muscles. First, find and savor the chances to practice throughout your day, just natural places. Thich writes, suppose you hear noises in your surroundings. You can use noise as the object of mindfulness. Breathing in, I can hear a lot of noise. Breathing out, I smile at this noise. I know that people making noise are not always peaceful, and I feel compassion towards them. So practicing mindful breathing and using this suffering that is around you as the object of your mindfulness will help the energies of understanding and compassion arise in you. He goes on. At a retreat, a woman complained that her roommate's snoring did not allow her to sleep. She was about to take her sleeping bag and go to the meditation hall when she suddenly remembered what I had taught, and she decided to stay put. She used the sound as a bell of mindfulness to engender compassion. Breathing in, I am aware of the snoring. Breathing out, I smile at it. 10 minutes later, she was sound asleep. It was a wonderful discovery for her. End quote. Author Don Jose Ruiz writes in his book, The Shaman's Path to Freedom, quote, show me the divinity in the moment. Whether you are taking a walk in the forest or are trapped in a stressful meeting or lying in a hospital bed, you can always make this request. Please show me the divinity that exists right here, right now. Tolle has a simple phrase that he uses when he notices that he's not present. He says, I am not present. And in that moment, whoosh, he's magically present. Conversation with another person, it's a humbling but straightforward opportunity to flex those stay in the present muscles. Think of the last conversation you had and put any mean girl, toxic shame thoughts in the trash heap, okay? Now, as the other person spoke, let's be honest. Where did your mind go? Did you listen with your full attention, or did you find yourself rehearsing in your mind what you were going to say next? Or placing a mental bookmark in something you wanted to add after they were done? Conversation is a fantastic place to practice being present. Truly, being an active listener demands it. And the fruits of the practice are those conversations. They'll end up being some of your most meaningful, deep, and memorable. When you let the flow happen, the words and shared moments take a direction that is never predictable, and it is always rewarding. It's what my college daughter calls vibing. Thanks, Bryn. Thich Nhat Hanh offers us a breathing exercise that he alluded to in the earlier passage. He calls it wonderful moment. He says, quote, I'm sure that if you follow this exercise in difficult moments, you will find relief. Here it is. Breathing in. I know I am breathing in. Breathing out. I know I am breathing out. Breathing in. I notice that my in-breath has become deeper. Breathing out, I notice that my out-breath has become slower. Breathing in, I calm myself. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Breathing in, I smile. Breathing out, I release. Breathing in, I dwell in the present moment. Breathing out, I feel it is a wonderful moment. He goes on. These verses can be summarized in the following way. In, out, deep, slow, calm, ease, smile, release, present moment, wonderful moment. Remember, he adds, the Buddha said that the present moment is the only moment when life is available to us. So in order to touch life deeply, we have to come back to the present moment. And what I love about that exercise, I hope you enjoyed it, is my dog Cooper sleeping at my feet and he's snoring. So I hope he's having a wonderful moment breathing in his sleep. I found some other suggestions. In an episode I recorded last summer, when my everyday was kind of a tossed salad, I painted my toenails a bright hue of purple. It was kind of obnoxious. Every time I glanced at those neon toes, I said to myself, focus on now, on this step. And that is all. It helped me remain present through a big transition in my life, and it worked really well. Here I am. So, as you already know, precious listener, I only air episodes I'm told to put together by the universe, by angels, by God, by goddess. This week is no different. The phrase "here I am" popped up in a myriad of places in the span of 2 hours. I took note. It occurred in a book I was reading, in a song I streamed, and in a text from a door dasher, which was a super odd thing because usually a text for a food drop off might say, "I'm here," but it said, "Here I am." That and the number 222, which I mentioned at the top. It's my symbol for archangels Metatron and Sandalphon that represent the great central sun and Earth's crystal grid below our feet, respectively. A clear message to be in my body. Pay attention to the now. I was going to create an episode about free will, but the universe had spoken loud and clear. I wrote the phrase, "here I am," on the back of my hand in ballpoint pen, and I spent the rest of the next 2 days until it washed off completely looking at how often I'm not here. This simple phrase, every time I glanced at it, it grounded me in the present. It is magic. It stops the wheels in my head, my internal thoughts caught in a jarring bumper car ride between past and future. Another idea, if you dig yoga, they teach you to begin with the breath, that it is a bridge between the body and the spirit. One breath. Pair that with a mantra that works for you, and you're welcome to use "here I am" or "I am not present." Use the breath as a reminder to bring you back to now. If you love pen and paper, and I'm obsessed with both, Zentangle is all about bringing your awareness to the present. It's as close as the nib of the pen and that sheet of paper, reminding us to check in with the physical body, to make adjustments to tense muscles, cramped necks and shoulders, and kinks in your back. Zentangle has the added bonus of teaching us to ignore that mean girl in our heads. We are in the doing. There's no place for judgment. The outcome of the exercise is not the point. The magic is in the doing. As Thick said, any activity can reground us in the present, and it's worth reiterating that we need to practice at varied times when we're in pain, sit with the feeling, steep in it, and soon we might observe a shift in intensity. We can practice when we're angry or sad. Again, looking at the emotion head on. What is going through your mind? What ways of escaping pop up first for you? Running away, shouting with fists raised, alcohol, self-harm. Just observe this. Then check back on that anger and sadness again. Has it grown? Has it shrunk? Has it disappeared? Just take note. Write down a phrase, a couple words that come to mind with what you've learned. Practice when we're enjoying something. Catch yourself being happy. I did this earlier. I was sitting on the back porch and listening to the birds. I caught the smoky scent of a neighbor's barbecue. The combination of warm breeze, smell, and sounds were pure bliss. Let your joyful moments take on more substance by simply being noticed, acknowledged, and allow yourself to be fully in the joy. Be present as you write your grocery list. You might notice how strange some of our words for foods are in that moment. Banana, where'd that come from? Someone was clearly not in their right mind when they came up with banana. Be present as you mow the lawn, when you change your clothes, as you brush your teeth, there's true magic in the mundane, as the Table of Wise Mages once told me in a dream. Magic, staying in the present, not constantly, maybe, but in fits and starts. I hope you discover some of that glitter this week. And until next time, stay curious. I love you.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you looking for a new podcast that appeals to your scientific curiosity, but is also a little bit spooky?
Show me how I died in a past life.
Well, look no further, because this cat is where it's at.
He had concerns about the ethics surrounding AI, feeling they had achieved consciousness.
Curious Cat Podcast examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. Listen every week with your host, Jennifer Holtz, as she and her guests explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit.
We were healing karma together. They were all kind of predestined to resolve something.
Listen on all your favorite streaming apps and continue the conversation on Twitter at CuriousCatPodCA, or find Jennifer and all her links at Jennifer L. Holtz, spelled HOTES.com.